off the set.
Hello, you're watching Cybernet with me, Steve Truitt. Get ready to meet a beautiful superhero, play some games on my street, go on a classic adventure, and survive a visit to Silent Hill. It's ahead of the pack. It's Cybernet. Let's kick off this week's show with a new kind of superhero for the GameCube. At first glance, this average Joe doesn't appear too impressive, but when he transforms into Beautiful Joe, he can pack quite a wallop. In many ways, Beautiful Joe plays like an old-school platform action title. It's presented in a long, outdated 2D style and is comprised primarily of fighting, double jumping, and collecting items. Once you dig beneath the surface, however, you'll discover an absorbing adventure designed with a unique comic book art style and slick visual effects. The origin of our hero takes place at the cinema, where Joe's girlfriend is suddenly warped into the movie. Seconds later, Joe is also transported into the film, where he's magically given fantastic powers and a snazzy red outfit. So Joe must use his new abilities to save his damsel in distress and beat up the bad guys. From here on out, it's a level-based fight for survival where you'll mash mean mutants and pulverize powerful bosses. And thanks to Joe's special powers, there's more here than just a basic beat-em-up. For instance, you can slow down time to dodge attacks and deflect missiles, or speed up time for a rapid-fire assault of punches and kicks. This gives you an amazing number of possible attack strategies that should please any Kung Fu fan. Joe can also display an amazing array of acrobatic twists and turns as he grabs floating power-ups and heart-refilling hamburgers. The game's most striking feature, however, is the cel-shaded graphical art style. The bright color palette is gorgeous, and the backgrounds are lush and imaginative. Despite the cartoonish appearance, this game contains some very challenging moments. Fortunately, the controls are responsive, and there's a kid's difficulty setting for the really tough spots. Our only complaints are that it's light on story, and the levels are somewhat repetitive. Plus, it's a relatively short game. It might be retro in style, but Beautiful Joe proves that a 2D side-scroller can still provide a distinctive and rewarding experience. Way to go, Joe. You're our kind of hero. If you want to be king of the road in Big Mother Truckers for the Xbox, you're going to have to let loose your wicked side. Fortunately, Cybernet is here to help release your evil urges. So grab a pen and jot down this malevolent cheat. At the cheat menu, enter in Varley. That's V-A-R-L-E and Y. No one's gonna mess with you now because we've just given you the evil truck. That's right, you're the master of disaster, the creator of chaos, the purveyor of pandemonium. Just don't forget to wear your seatbelt. This is the end of my summer vacation when I have to get in all the playing time I can before my school year begins. Luckily on my street, I have plenty of friends with a lot of interesting hobbies. Won't you join me for a game on the PlayStation 2? I begin by making my virtual counterpart with the easy-to-use character customization mode. Then it's time to play. So I'll walk along my street and talk to some friends.
My game is RC Racing. Only hepcats with a tough RC car can play.
There are 7 mini-games that make up my street. Here I can take my magnetized marble and attract smaller marbles through the goal. The one with the most points wins. Or I can go for the checkered flag with RC Racing. Power-ups like oil slicks, nitros, and even missiles help me get ahead. If I want more physical activity, there's volleyball, where I can bump, set, and spike my way to victory. And for more zany fun, there's chicken herding. Just keep those big coop-destroying pigs away. To cause some mischief, I can race my lawnmowers through the yard. But I better watch out for those flowers or else risk losing valuable points. And to get my mind in shape, there's chemistry. This Tetris-style game matches and then zaps colored molecules before they harden to stone.
Yeah, and now kick in the pan.
Finally, there's dodgeball. Loved by some, dreaded by most. It's the game where I try to hit opponents with a ball until they're eliminated. Sadly, the mini-games of my street are far too simple for almost everyone, while the platform-hopping puzzles may be a bit too confusing for younger gamers. While combining party and platform games is a nifty concept, it just isn't as fun as it should be. Unfortunately, my street is someplace you don't want to live. Maybe I should move.
Yeah!
Ever since the Wright brothers stunned the world in 1903 with their amazing flying machine, mankind has strived to conquer the skies. And now you can experience the thrill of controlling some of the most famous airplanes of the past 100 years with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2004, A Century of Flight for the PC, our Game of the Week. As the name implies, this title celebrates a century of aeronautic innovation. Practically the entire history of civilian aviation is represented. Not only will you be able to fly in famous airplanes of yesteryear, such as Charles Lindbergh's Spirit of St. Louis, you'll have access to a vast amount of written information. It's a fascinating subject and one worth exploring. But of course, the most important aspect of the Flight Simulator titles is the accurate depiction of airplanes. 15 contemporary planes and 9 vintage aircrafts are included, all rendered with ultra-realistic precision. So you'll cruise the skyways in everything from a Boeing 747 to a Robinson R-22 helicopter. Once you've chosen an airplane to fly, you can take off and land in more than 24,000 airports. These all feature much more detail than seen in previous editions. Other realistic touches include the game's dynamic weather conditions and the virtual cockpits, which are much more interactive and functional. Your first piloting experience might be a bit bumpy, but fortunately there's an in-depth flight school to get you up to speed. We also highly recommend some good controller peripherals like a joystick and rudder pedals to get the most out of this title. Then it's off you go into the wild blue yonder. There have been a slew of flight sim contenders over the years, but this series continues to soar high above the competition. Aviation buffs will love A Century of Flight, and that's why it's our Game of the Week. Since first looking up at the night sky, man has dreamed of living amongst the stars. Some experts believe that in the near future, we'll be able to inhabit an alien world and make it our own. Well, the future is here. It's time to build your very own space colony for the PC. Immediately, it becomes clear this title has many similarities with the hugely popular Sim series. Once you find a world for your colony, it's up to you to build it from a barren wasteland to a thriving city metropolis. As creator, you're responsible for your colony's aesthetic and financial upkeep. That means besides keeping things in order, you'll have to find ways to keep money coming in. So remember to mine your planet for resources. And what better way to attract tourists than with a space-age gambling casino. But it doesn't stop there. You'll also be responsible for your population's morale. Ignore them and they'll pick fights, argue, get depressed, and eventually go crazy. Nurture them and they will work hard for you, become friends, and maybe even fall in love. With over 100 different buildings at your disposal, Space Colony can keep both the creative and strategic sides of your brain busy for days. The graphics are colorful and cool, and the interface is easy to manage. Plus, the overall gameplay, though familiar, is sprinkled with enough original elements to make this a fresh experience. What other sim would have you managing a hotel while fending off an alien attack? If you love The Sims and you're looking for a whole new world to conquer, Space Colony might just be the getaway you're looking for. If you've been playing Rise of Nations on the PC and found that your enemies are getting the best of you, relax. We've got a cheat that'll have them begging for mercy. So grab a pen and jot this down. During gameplay, press enter and type in the words cheat nuke. That's C-H-E-A-T space N-U-K-N-E. You've just been given the power to crush anything in your path because you now have unlimited nuclear weapons. That's right, simply place your pointer over the building you want destroyed, and with one click of the mouse, blammo! We hope you enjoyed this cheat, and good luck! Coming up, we survive a desert storm, run from giant titans, and get scared on Silent Hill.
A lot of couples who've been together for a long time go off sex.
I've never been on it.
Meet Hazel.
It can be a wonderful thing, can sex, Hazel? I'm sure it can.
A woman with everything.
Who's reading Lady Chatterley's Lover?
Who still isn't getting enough.
Have you tried that chocolate body pain?
Meet Peter.
So how do you feel about talking to a sex therapist?
Is that what you are?
He's having a few
So when was the last time you and Hazel had sex?
4 or 5 years.
problems.
She threw up after we'd finished.
Meet Alona.
I might as well tell you I'm a sex therapist.
Does that make you an expert?
She likes it.
How many times a week do you do it?
Every day.
When you talk dirty.
My God, he's got a big one.
From the writer of Fat Friends
Can you help me?
I'll do my best.
comes a new drama
Where the hell are you going?
I don't know.
about sex
We have unresolved issues.
Unresolved issues.
between the sheets.
How come my family's so screwed up?
Monday at 9.
Welcome back to part 2 of Cybernet. We begin this half with a return trip back in time to the Middle East. Grab your rifle and prepare for some military action with Conflict Desert Storm 2 Back to Baghdad for the PC, Xbox, and PS2. This sequel takes you to the military conflict that transpired in Iraq back in 1991. You play as either the American Delta Force or the British SAS personnel. The teams function almost identically with only slight variations, most notably in the voice acting. This is squad-based action, meaning you'll command a 4-member team. There's the assault rifle-wielding team leader, the sniper, the demolitions expert, and the heavy machine gunner. You'll then set out on a 10-mission campaign to bring down a ruthless dictator. The original Conflict Desert with numerous faults, so we were surprised that a sequel would be released just a year later. Fortunately, the developers at Pivotal Games made numerous improvements, making this a better game. For instance, alternating control of your teammates will give you a tactical advantage, so if done correctly, you should be able to progress with little casualties. But if you allow the computer AI to control your team, more often than not, they'll go down in a blaze of glory. So practice up those command skills, and soon enough you'll be taking that heroic trip home. The graphics have improved as well. The environments are no longer bland, but filled with enough detail to make the action believable. Vehicle combat was added on some levels to break up the flow. On the Xbox version, 4-player co-op is available. Also, the targeting system has been tweaked, allowing for more accurate hits. Even with all these additions, we still feel the game falls a bit short of the mark. Each updated aspect suffers from some minor technical problems, resulting in a title that simply needs more polish. There's some fun to be had with Conflict Desert Storm 2, but if we go back to Baghdad for a third tour, let's hope the producers give it the development time this weighty subject matter deserves. We love to drive, so to us having access to every car in Apex for the Xbox is like being a kid in a candy store. If you feel this way too, then grab a pen and jot down this awesome cheat. In Dream Mode, start a new game and enter your name as Reality. That's R-E-A-L-I-T-N-Y. Your dreams have come true because you've just unlocked all the production cars in this game. That's right, feel free to take your favorite automobiles for a spin around these exciting tracks. If you're a fan of cars like we are, you couldn't ask for a better cheat. Now hit the road! The classic pen and paper version of Dungeons & Dragons was, for the most part, the very first role-playing game. As this form of gaming moved into the computer age, D&D was there every step of the way in such hits as Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter Nights. Now this RPG experience has gone back to where it all began in the Temple of Elemental Evil, a classic Greyhawk adventure for the PC. Based on a module from the original Dungeons & Dragons game, this title casts you as the leader of a band of brave warriors. You begin by creating your party, choosing from a wide variety of species, races, and abilities. There are literally dozens of skills and classes to choose from. In addition, there are hundreds of various forms of magic available, including cleric domain spells. As with any game of this sort, it's good to have someone who's a mighty warrior, another who's a quick shot, and a magic user. Of course, all will have to work together in order to survive. Hardcore fans will be pleased that the game follows the 3rd edition rules. The combat is turn-based, making for slower, though more strategic combat. And with a slew of monsters inhabiting the temple, you can bet there will be plenty of combat. There are over 100 different enemies in all, ranging from goblins to hill giants and even demons. Unfortunately, the gameplay is quite buggy. At several points, it becomes far too easy to become separated from your group. Also, at times, spells and weapons don't quite work as well as you'd like them to. But despite these flaws, the Temple of Elemental Evil is a solid RPG experience. While it may not quite be in the same league as the Baldur's Gate series, it is a faithful adaptation of the game that started it all. Okay, it's time for Cybernet's Top 10 PC Games chart. At 10, controlling an armada of spaceships is no longer just for Darth Vader. Now you can command your own fleet in Homeworld 2. Your Sims get some much-needed public transportation enhancements as the traffic clears for SimCity 4. Lynx is back, sinking putts and staying out of the rough with Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2004. Storming in at number 7, we can't get enough of the great Battlefield 1942, Secret World War II. The Sims take center stage as Hollywood superstars in their latest PC expansion. Hey, how about an autograph? At number 5, much more exciting than any school we've ever seen, we're desperate to enroll in Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy. That's no earthquake, it's just the dreaded shaking of the Titans in Age of Mythology, stomping to our 4th spot. At 3, protecting the world from any and all threats, we mobilize our units for Command and Conquer General 0 Hour. Time to fight another famous battle of World War II, we suit up for Medal of Honor Allied Assault Break. But was there any doubt we'd fall for one of our favorite FPS titles? Halo Combat Evolved is our PC number 1. We take you back to a legendary era when powerful kings and magical monsters roamed the land. It's time to enter Age of Mythology, the Titans, for the PC. As the first expansion to last year's popular real-time strategy game, Age of Mythology, the Titans brings you a new story, new characters, and even a completely new army. In campaign mode, you are Castor, the son of the previous storyline's character, the heroic Arkantos. However, unlike your father who led the Greeks, you must now lead a new army, the Atlanteans, against the other races in the game. Through a bit of trickery, Castor ends up freeing the evil Titans from imprisonment and now must work with his allies to stop their onslaught. The Atlanteans play a little bit faster than the other armies. This allows many advantages such as renewable god powers and the ability to make heroes of any normal unit. Although we're happy to have the Atlanteans to control, they look a bit too similar to the Greeks. We would have preferred the contrast of an army from a different culture. As you probably guessed, one of the best additions this expansion adds is the Titans themselves. These brutes are destructive, horrible, and evil. Well, I guess that one's not so bad. You can summon these Titans when your army is fully advanced, and believe us, if someone has a Titan and you don't, the battle will be over very quickly. We can't get enough of Age of Mythology: The Titans. As game expansions go, it has everything we like. We hope that more additions will be made for this absorbing series with more armies, more magic, and of course, a few more of these big guys. The Silent Hill series has crawled out from the shadow of its humble beginnings and taken form as a gaming series giant. The latest installment has been scaring players on the PS2, and now PC owners have a new reason to fear the dark in Silent Hill 3. Although they share similar settings and visual creepiness, there's not much to tie the installments of this series together. Each introduces a character who finds themselves stuck in a mysterious town called Silent Hill. In this edition, you'll play as a young girl named Heather who wakes up in an abandoned mall not knowing how she got there. To make matters worse, the place is crawling with all sorts of horrifying creatures. Like a mystery movie, the pieces of the plot fall into place as Heather explores the town and puts the clues together. She also runs into a few other human inhabitants, including a secretive detective who offers our heroine more questions than answers. Unlike most other survival horror games, the Silent Hill series has always emphasized atmosphere over gore. And this chapter proudly boasts some of the creepiest levels yet. Explicit in detail and rich with atmosphere, this will have you looking over your shoulder during those late-night gaming sessions. Despite some new features, there's still room for improvement in this chapter on the hill. While the controls are better than other popular horror games, like Resident Evil, they still take some getting used to. Also, since we don't get to know the main character until much later in the game, it's harder to get us involved. Overall though, this is another super sequel to the scary series. Let's just hope we can survive the experience. We'd like to thank you for joining us for another amazing blast of video game action. Cybernet will be back soon with even more fantastic games and features from around the world, and don't forget to keep in touch via email. So until next time, here's more dynamic driving from F-Zero GX, compliments of Cybernet. It's Cybernet. Welcome to the show. We begin this week with probably the most unusual weapon we've seen in quite some time. An egg. But don't let that scramble your feelings for the wild and crazy adventure known as Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg on the GameCube. The evil crows have imprisoned the chicken elders who, aside from no longer being free-range chickens, are forbidden from coaxing the sun out of its slumber. This leaves all of Morningland in total darkness. So a young boy named Billy Hatcher is given the legendary rooster suit to help. With its power, he can control the magical eggs, rescue the elders, and rid Morningland of the crows once and for all. If the bright and colorful graphics look familiar, that's because Billy Hatcher was developed by the creators of Sonic the Hedgehog. In fact, this is the first all-new platform game from the folks at Sonic Team since the glory days of the Sega Saturn system. And this title does look beautiful. They definitely chose a sunny palette when picking the game's colors. Your primary task is to collect magical eggs and use them to fight and solve puzzles through 6 unique stages like Fire Stage and Ice Stage. To make use of an egg, simply run up to it and Billy will automatically push it. Then you can use it to either roll over enemies or throw it at them. Each time you perform an action with the egg, it will grow. Eventually, with a cock-a-doodle-doo, the egg will hatch, releasing a magical beast that can help you. Controlling these eggs is a bit tricky. If you try to cut back and head in the opposite direction, Billy will let go of the egg. This can be frustrating, especially in times of a fierce fight. Also, lining the egg up to throw will often result in missed targets. Master these controls, though, and soon enough you'll be ruling the roost. Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg is a unique, though limited title that could have benefited from more variation. Fortunately, the multiplayer mode more than makes up for these shortcomings. So if you're looking for a lighthearted adventure on the GameCube, don't worry, this one's all it's cracked up to be. If you've been playing SimCity 4 on the PC, you no doubt realize that money helps. Luckily, the Bank of Cybernet is always open, so grab a pen and jot down this rewarding cheat. Press Ctrl and X to bring up the cheat entry box and type in weakness pays as one word. That's WEAKNESSPAYS. Consider this your lucky day because we've just given you an extra $1,000 in your treasury. That's right, use this money to buy anything you need. Compliments of, well, you know where. The Professors of Peculiar are back. This time, however, these weird friends have left the Xbox for the Game Boy Advance. But while the console it's played on may be smaller, their adventure has never been so big. This is Oddworld Munch's Odyssey. Munch, the Gabbit, and his sidekick Abe are leading an offbeat revolution to save the world. With their sacred land in jeopardy of being destroyed by the greedy Gluckins, the strange pair team up to teach those rascals a lesson. You'll be in command of your enemies using the power of chant. Of course, there are also plenty of wacky weapons and power-ups to use along the way. Fortunately, no matter what method you use to take out your opponents, the controls are responsive and accurate. Some of the objectives and puzzles are slightly unclear, but we think Oddworld, though admittedly, odd, is a fun place to visit. We now move from abnormally ugly-looking characters to an abnormally beautiful one. Everyone's favorite blonde who has everything, Barbie, is... It's the National Grand Horse Charity, and you're invited. It's time to saddle up and go on an amazing cross-country race to the finish line. You'll ride through lush countryside and compete in exciting events using skill and speed to dodge obstacles like rocks, hay bales, and even forest animals. One of this game's strongest attributes is the fantastic horse animations. These beautiful beasts gallop, run, and jump with solid fluidity. Sadly, controlling them leaves a bit to be desired. This can be extremely frustrating, especially for the young girls wanting to take this one for a ride. Blue Ribbon Race suffers from the same faults that some critics direct at Barbie herself. All style and no substance. This one just doesn't gallop away with our hearts. There's nothing like the thrill of racing an ATV. Being able to not only navigate but skillfully maneuver around rugged terrain is a feat not for the weak of heart. Hold on tight and get ready for the awesome power of ATV Off-Road Fury 2 for the PS2, our game of the week. The second installment in this series actually has a lot in common with its previous release. It combines arcade play with some Tony Hawk-style big air stunts. Of course, all of this has been amplified from the last title, resulting in an over-the-top game promising to fill the need of extreme enthusiasts. But does it succeed? You'll customize your rider's apparel, then choose from over 20 authentic all-terrain vehicles. That said, it's time to take it to the road, or the off-road. The 4 modes include the standard nationals and supercross races, which require you to compete against opponents on either indoor or outdoor tracks. And then there's a freestyle mode to let you perform wild and crazy stunts. The real fun, however, is in the enduro mode. Here you'll race across a vast and rugged terrain, cutting your own path to the next checkpoint. This free-roaming aspect adds a great deal of challenging replayability. A huge portion of the game is experienced by pulling off tricks. When you see that the preload meter is filled, press the correct button and you can grab some big air. We could have used a few more tricks on offer, but this is still a good addition. If you think you have what it takes to compete with real-life opponents, there's a multiplayer option which lets you take on up to 3 buddies. And if there's no one else around, you can go online and race your virtual friends. Overall, ATV Off-Road Fury 2 is an entertaining title. While we would have liked more attention paid to the trick portions, there's no denying the white-knuckle excitement these four-wheeled monsters of the dirt provide. We look forward to the next installment of this up-and-coming franchise, checking in as our Game of the Week. The latest season of the National Hockey League is in full swing, which can only mean one thing. Another edition of NHL 2004 is here. So let's skate our way to victory on the PC and all 3 consoles. This series consistently receives high marks for excellence, and this title continues that winning tradition. The gameplay is as sharp as ever, highlighted by realistic player animation, authentic arenas, and tight controls. Plus, as usual, league information is updated so you can recreate last season's Stanley Cup Finals between the Anaheim Mighty Ducks and the New Jersey Devils. Although the game engine remains basically the same as last year, there are several upgrades. The control system now includes a 2-button passing option to help you get the puck to a teammate. And if someone's in your way, you can use a saucer pass to lift the puck off the ice. Subtle techniques like these will often allow you to get a better shot on goal. And you can now check players whenever you want just by using the right analog stick. When on defense, simply skate up to the player you wish to check and then tap the stick in his direction. Time it right and you can crush him into the boards. Of course, this tends to lead to fights, so be prepared for a right hook. There are a multitude of game modes to explore. You can jump right into the action in the Play Now mode or build a franchise in This incredibly deep option allows you to assume the dual role of both coach and general manager, where you'll trade for the best player and lead your team to glory. NHL 2004 from Electronic Arts is an awesome hockey sim that's rivaled only by Sega's ESPN NHL Hockey 2K4. So let's get that puck into the net. He shoots, he scores! If you've been playing the cool expansion to Warcraft 3 on the PC, you know that this frozen throne can be tough to beat, especially if you can't see what's coming after you. Luckily, Cybernet is here to shed some light on this game, so grab a pen and jot down this cheat. Press enter during gameplay to display the message box. Then type in, "I see dead people" as one word. That's I-S-E-E-D-E-A-D-P-E-O-P-L-and-E. Now you're able to see the full map. That's right, no one will be able to launch a sneak attack on you, so enjoy and remember to keep watching Cybernet for more awesome tactics. Coming up, we take our fight to the streets, go on a fantastical saga, and explore the world of portable gaming.
Hello, Starlet!
Derek's got a lot to say.
See you later. Woman, too emotional.
So what happens when his wife is replaced by her mother for a week?
They've given me headaches.
Derek!
They've given me toothache.
That's muggy!
And they've given me verrucas.
What?
She lost to you, son.
Take My Mother-in-Law, Tuesday, 9:45, ITV1.
Oh.
I'm really sorry, Miss Dean.
No, it's okay, it's fine, don't worry.
I didn't know it was Donny Osmond.
Here, but where's my dressing room then?
This must be the one. This had better be the one.
All the stars under one roof. The Royal Variety Performance 2003. Wednesday at 9, ITV1. There must be room for one more.
Welcome back to part 2 of Cybernet. We begin the second half with a call to arms. An enemy army has taken over New York City, and the Big Apple has become a police state. However, there are a brave few who refuse to live in tyranny. This is no time to back down, so let's join the revolution with the Freedom Fighters on the PC and all 3 consoles. This game takes an alternative timeline approach to history. It's set in a world where the Cold War is still raging and liberty is on the losing side. You play as a plumber named Chris Stone. While fixing a customer's sink, he finds out the owner is a heroic leader who's taking on the evil conquering army. He suddenly finds himself joining the battle, fighting for freedom, and ultimately becoming a leader himself. Freedom Fighters is a squad-based, third-person shooter, meaning most of the time you won't be in the battle alone. As you gain more combat experience, you'll be able to recruit fellow soldiers to the cause. You can command your soldiers to rush, protect, or retreat with a remarkably easy-to-use interface system. This immediately sets it apart from other, more complex tactical shooters. Wipe them out! A map screen will give you several resistance targets that you'll need to take out. While you choose the order of these missions, Some will have you acquire a weapon or tool from a previous level. This throws some strategy into the mix. There is a multiplayer mode that allows for up to 4 players to battle it out in a King of the Hill type game. But sadly, it's little more than an afterthought next to the compelling single-player experience. We would have much preferred it if the developers spent the time working on more missions. In fact, our only complaint is that the game's too short. Freedom Fighters is an old-fashioned, adrenalized action shooter at heart. The story unfolds like a big-budget adventure film with enough ammo dispensing and pyrotechnics to make even Arnold Schwarzenegger blush. With its engrossing premise and smart gameplay, we have the feeling this is an explosive franchise in the making. We just can't get enough of that high-flying, motorcycle-riding, freestyle metal axe on the PS2. But although we cover a lot in this game, we still haven't gone everywhere, until now. Grab a pen and jot down this cheat. At the code screen, type in Universe. That's U-N-I-V-E-R-S and E. Consider this code an all-access pass because you've just unlocked all the levels and all the events. That's right, go anywhere that these bikes and your skills can take you. Enjoy. Hang on tight, it's time for Cybernet's Top 10 GameCube chart. At number 10, our favorite animated clay characters come to video game life in Wallace & Gromit Project Zoo. The Cold War just got a whole lot hotter. It's time to battle to safeguard sovereignty in Freedom Fighters at 9. At 8, speeding its way back to our game-playing roots, the world's fastest hedgehog is ahead of the pack in Sonic Mega Collection. He may be short, fat, and mean, but he's the only one who can save the planet. It's Wario World spinning into the 7th position. We love this blue guy so much, he's made it onto our list twice, this time in the 6th spot with Sonic Adventure DX Director's Cut. At 5, Link continues to battle the bad guys as he fights his way through The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. Swimming past the competition and avoiding sharks along the way, it's the little clownfish from Finding Nemo at 4. Next time you play Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2004 at 3, remember the old saying, drive for show, putt for dough. The world's most gregarious grapplers are ready to take center stage in WWE WrestleMania 19 Body Slamming to number 2. But none compare to the sword-swinging action of Link and the other fighters from Soul Calibur 2, our GameCube number 1. While everyone's playing games from the comfort of their home, sometimes we just don't have that. Fortunately, taking our favorite pastime on the road is easier and more enjoyable than ever thanks to a multitude of fantastic high-techs. Mobile gaming revolution is here, so join Team Cybernet for an inside look. Once dismissed as an inconsequential segment of the video game industry, portable gaming is now a huge part of the business. And without a doubt, the dominant handheld system is Nintendo's Game Boy Advance. It's currently the world's fastest-selling game machine, and for good reason. It's powered by a 32-bit processor, so games look as good as those first seen on the Super Nintendo console. Plus, the variety of games available for the GBA is astonishing. They include classic Nintendo favorites like The Legend of Zelda, blockbuster crossover hits like Harry Potter, and established franchises like Castlevania. Although wildly successful, the GBA did receive a few complaints from older gamers, so Nintendo created something a bit more stylish, and the result was the Game Boy Advance SP. Released earlier this year, the GBA SP features a sleek folding design and incorporates two major improvements, a built-in backlit screen and a rechargeable lithium-ion battery. Mostly, however, it just looks much cooler. For many players, the easiest way to game on the go is by simply turning on their mobile phone. Nearly all handsets include at least a few basic titles like Space Invaders or Tetris. However, publishers are also now releasing a vast assortment of surprisingly high-quality titles to entice hardcore gamers. These encompass all the best-known genres such as racing, sports, and action. And what's great is that many of these titles can be played over wireless networks. Plus, handset makers like Samsung, Sony Ericsson, and Toshiba are now designing technologically advanced phones to showcase these new games. Some phone models can even slide into a plastic shell to simulate a console control pad. In the boldest statement yet that wireless gaming is on the verge of becoming the next big thing, mobile phone giant Nokia recently released a game deck called the N-Gage. This innovative device is jam-packed with all kinds of electronic wizardry. Naturally, it's a phone, but it's also an MP3 digital music player, a stereo FM radio, and it allows you to surf the mobile internet. And of course, it plays games which come on these tiny cards. Most importantly, many major publishers like Activision, Eidos, Sega, and THQ are already developing titles for the system. As for specifications, the vertically oriented screen displays nearly PS1 quality 3D graphics with up to 4,000 colors. And you play using an 8-way directional controller along with a beveled keypad. At Nokia's E3 press conference in Los Angeles, they promoted their new gadget surrounded by a great deal of fanfare. They gave a multitude of demonstrations of various titles and also showed off wireless gameplay via Bluetooth technology. Even famed developer John Romero made an appearance to show his support. The N-Gage was released worldwide on October 7th amidst a tremendous publicity blitz. It's apparent that Nokia wants to be at the forefront of any time and any place gaming.
N-Gage is really unlike any other product. It has no competitors. It's a totally new system, and it's really going to take gaming to the next level. This is the first of a new generation we're going to see in wireless multiplayer online gaming.
Keep it tuned to Cybernet, and we'll let you know if the N-Gage lives up to the hype. For now, though, some gamers just can't wait to get their hands on it.
I'm just so excited I can't even finish this interview. I want to go play it.
While fads come and go, RPG games continue to be a constant source of adventure for gamers. Final Fantasy has had countless sequels, and fans are already looking forward to the next Zelda quest. So it should come as no surprise that the makers of the Saga titles decided to create another installment to their popular series. This is Unlimited Saga for the PlayStation 2. The Seven Wonders is a group of structures shrouded in mystery. Legends say long-absent gods lie within them, and their release will trigger a rebirth of the Golden Age. The story is uniquely told through the eyes of 7 different protagonists. Each one has their own motivations for seeking the wonders. However, they all quickly learn that an evil army is in pursuit with the intention of robbing the gods' power for themselves. You'll choose from a wide cast of characters. Each one has their own special ability to add to the overall strength of the group. The game also boasts a free scenario system that allows for non-linear gameplay. So as the storyline progresses, your characters and the world they inhabit constantly evolves. While the game obviously tries to be innovative, it sadly becomes bogged down by its own efforts. For instance, the combat system resembles a slot machine where your action is determined by chance. The result is a chaotic and clunky distraction to the overall experience. However, the title's biggest problem is that it's just plain boring. The gameplay is monotonous, the graphics are dated, and despite some admittedly touches, it fails to be anything more than an outdated effort. There are numerous RPGs of higher quality to choose from, and sadly, Unlimited Saga gets stomped by the much stronger competition. Even the most die-hard adventurer is skipping this title. It looks like this week's Cybernet Saga has come to an end, but we promise to be back soon with more fantastic games and features from around the world. And don't forget to keep in touch via email.
Dominic Diamond in Gamesmaster.
You may be wondering why I'm playing with my organ in a church. Well, this is Gamesmaster, television's only video game magazine show, coming to you from the only church in the country where Harry Seacombe is too fat to fit through the door. But we'll begin tonight with our initial game-playing challenge, and to detail it, I hand you over to the celestial godfather, the Gamesmaster.
Hello. How kind of you once again. I have to admit to being rather pleased with the 3 little challenges I have managed to concoct for you this week. To tee us off, we take to the fairways and putting greens of top players' golf. If you wish to complete my challenge successfully, you will need to play the first 3 holes on the country club course in level par. Best of luck.
And attempting to keep his balls out of the bunker and in the holes in our first challenge is Mark Boduano. Now Mark, I understand you're a bit of a mean golfer in real life.
Well, that's right. I play at Ross and Y Golf Club, and I have a handicap of 4.
Right, okay. Now, how do you fancy your chances on the computer equivalent?
Prefer to be doing the real thing, but I'll give it a go.
Okay, if you'd like to get the feel of your clubs in our hot seat, we'll get ready to tee off. And trying to keep me on the fairway is my own little handicap, Neil West from Sega Power. Welcome, Neil.
Thanks very much, Dominic.
Now, any general tips you can give Mark?
Well, on the Neo Geo, yeah, the golf game's quite tricky. Basically, he's just got to make sure he stays on the fairway. That's the most important thing. And another little piece of advice is don't trust the caddy. They may look very, very pretty, but they often tell you completely the wrong thing.
Okay then. Are you ready, Mark?
Yeah.
Then go to your caddy who's waiting for you at the first hole. Okay, now on this first hole, he's obviously, what's he going to try and do with his first shot?
Okay, well, first of all, he's taking a wise precaution of having a look about the course before he starts, yeah? He's got to set himself up for his shots, and so he'll have worked out that he needs a shot onto the first fairway. Let's see if he's made it.
Wax that one. Oh, my dear, he's cooped that a little bit, but it's
very, very fairway. Onto the fairway. Well,
very risky shot, but it's paid off a bit.
It has paid off indeed. He's now set up very nicely indeed.
Okay, now we're coming up for the second stroke here.
Okay, he's using a 4-iron, and he missed, right, this meet up here, he's gone for a 100% strength shot, which is quite risky, because he now runs the risk of either slicing or hooking it.
Oh, is it going to run out of the fairway? The green, yes, it's on the green. Oh no, it's got too far, oh my word! Just slipped off of the green there, into the rough at the side, but nevertheless, quite a good stroke.
Almost an excellent shot, very, very good indeed. He's picked himself a sand wedge, a little chip shot.
Delicate chip. Oh my word, he was nearly sunk it there. But he's left on the green for his par putt.
Okay, he's got to get a par to stay in the running for the challenge. He's got a par each hole, so it looks like he's okay on this one, if he can just sink this putt.
And it's in there! So now we're going on to the second hole. Quite a tricky, thin little hole, this one, Neil.
Yeah, that's right. There's a couple of really nasty bunkers, and if he really takes a swipe and mucks it up, he's going to end up in the sea. He's picked himself a 1 wood, and off he goes. 100% whack.
Oh, and he wallops that one.
And it looks to be doing okay.
What a nice stroke.
Couldn't have been much better, could it?
Lovely first shot there from
213 yards, that really is a very good shot.
Okay, now he's going to whack it again there. Is he going to stay on? Oh, he may have just over the net. He may well be going for the bunker. He just, just on the rim of the bunker there, Neil. Very dangerous.
This guy's got luck on his side. Yeah, 90 yards. The sand wedge would actually do it, yeah? Or he's going for a pitching wedge as it happens.
Give him a little bit more length.
That's right, especially when you consider he's in the rough.
Right.
Nice lofted club. Here we go, this one should sail straight up in the air. Yep, there it goes. You can follow the shadow on the ground.
Right.
And
is he going to creep on the green just about?
He might, oh no, he didn't make it.
Oh.
It's in the rough, that was bad luck. But again, that was only his third shot, and he's got another 2 to get it in. He's still on course.
And to win the challenge, all he has to do is stay on par.
That's right.
Nice little chip up. Oh my word, it could be going in. Oh!
That was a beautiful little shot.
And he should be set up here for the par, Neil.
He should. If he misses this, he'll never forgive
Green
himself.
slope, uphill to the right.
Okay, look at the slope in the bottom left-hand corner. Right. You can see that the green's sloping from bottom left to top right.
So a bit more power required.
Bit more power.
Oh no, and he's missed it! Oh my word!
And now he's left himself a dreadful shot to try and get back. This is a very tough shot.
Just a little bit too much power in this putter.
Yeah. Beginning to feel the pressure, I think.
He really must.
But he did it.
Right. Okay. Now it leaves it very interesting because he must have a birdie on this final hole, Neil. So he's really got to get on the green with this opening shot.
He certainly has.
And he's giving it a whack. Come on, he could be. Oh no, it's falling a bit short. Oh no, he's going to go in the bunker. Now this is his last stroke, Neil. Basically, he's going to need a miracle from this position.
He certainly is. It looks as if the only thing he'll come away with is a dinner date tonight. But
okay. Oh, good. Oh no. Oh my word. No! So that means that Mark has gone over par and his challenge sadly ended in abject failure. Bad luck, Mark. You started off very well, parred the first hole, but then it seemed to me when you got into the green your trouble started. The nearer you got to the hole, the more nervous you got.
I really couldn't judge the pace of the greens at all, and I've just messed up.
Okay, well we very much enjoyed having you on the show. Have you enjoyed it, Mark?
Yes, thanks, Dominic.
Okay, a round of applause again for our gallant contestant, Mark Milano! And while Mark treads back to Ross on Wife for a sad stroke or two on his own, we're going to cast our latest reviews. This week we take to our TARDISes and hit games. First up on the Amiga, fight through claustrophobic corridors of furious facehuggers in Alien Breed.
The scenery is very detailed, a lot of interesting lighting effects, which work quite well.
I enjoy the game, but basically it goes on the same, like shooting the monsters. The same monsters appear all the time.
Alien Breed is very atmospheric, but if you're looking for an involved space adventure to blast away at for a while, you're going to be disappointed because it's the same a lot of the time.
Get ready!
Next up, Forget Fair Play as the sport of the future comes to the Mega Drive in Speedball 2.
That's basically like football with no rules, and the fact that you can beat the shit out of each other does make it far more entertaining than a straight football game.
I think where you can buy and transfer players is a really good idea, so you can build your team up.
I definitely recommend it. If you've got a Mega Drive and you've seen the Amiga version and interested in it, then you'll still find it a wholesome game that you can really get stuck into, even if there are a few presentation quirks that don't make it quite as good.
Finally, on the PC, take to the stars for some aerial acrobatics in Wing Commander 2.
There's a lot of flash presentation and a lot of attempt to create an atmosphere with the graphics. And the thing is, when you get down to it, the graphics is all there is. There's not a lot of depth to the gameplay at all.
Looks all very nice, but incredibly boring to play. Very, very dull.
And now for this week's feature. With a cornucopia of new consoles either having just been released or about to hit the scene, console buyers face greater choice than ever before. Over the next few weeks, we'll be finding out whether these machines are the ultimate in gaming fulfillment or simply all mouth and no trousers. Today, Paul Lakin, editor of GameZone magazine, casts his peepers at the Neo Geo.
Most consoles claim to have arcade style, arcade quality graphics and sound. With the Neo Geo, you've got an arcade machine. Possess your own Neo Geo. You can go and play the arcade, in position on a credit card, take it home and continue to do that, I don't know. The machine itself is very impressive. It's got the capability to put over 4,000 colours on screen at one time, and its 24-bit processor is the most powerful available at the moment. If you're feeling rich and you're feeling like the most powerful machine available, then the Neo Geo is the one to have, but it is a lot of money.
A couple of stonking games there. Now about this time every week I don't have fancy a celebrity challenge. Well, this week is no different. To hear all about it, let's call up Gamesmaster.
Nice to see you again. I do hope you enjoyed my last little jaunt. For my second challenge this week, I thought we might take to the pistes with Ski or Die, a most amusing little game in which carefree young stunt skiers, or hot doggers as I believe they're called, perform dazzling aerial acrobatics. You will have 3 jumps with which to impress the panel of 6 judges. Marks are awarded for speed, altitude, difficulty of maneuver, and grace. So come out spinning and reach for the skies.
Well, our next 2 competitors are particularly suited to this game. Game players extraordinaire as well as being masters of the piste. They're also 2 of the nation's most favourite DJs. From Capital Radio, please flap your hands fervently for Pat Sharp and Mick Brown. Now, Mick, first of all, how long have you been a joystick waggler?
Well, I've been a joystick waggler for quite a few years. I was once arrested for it, but ever since I took up this, I've found that you can't get arrested for it, so it's been quite a few years.
Okay, now Pat, I know you're a games fan as well, but you're also quite a big skiing freak also.
Yeah, as you said, Dominic, you know, going on the piste is fun, but it's the old après ski that I prefer, just taking it easy, but I'm going to give it my best shot today.
Okay, now I know there's a bit of rivalry between the 2 of you, so I'll have to ask you, Pat, can you take Mick?
I'll have to ask my wife first.
Okay. To find out who wins this celebrity battle of the joystick tuggers, join us after these messages.
I'm free to do what I want any old time. I said I'm free to do what I want.
Get in on the game, because now it's absolutely free to play along on Challenge, which means you can feel free to press red whenever and however you like. So get stuck in, because on Challenge, you just can't lose.
Only 'cause I'm free.
Little girl.
There's half-price Cronenberg this Christmas at Sainsbury's.
Miles has learned that nobody comes whether he cries or not. A door, a table, a fist. His abuser says he'll come and get Tom if he does. Sometimes we need to open our eyes to the suffering that's all around us and work together to stop it. Please pledge just £2 a month to the NSPCC and be there for children in desperate need. Please, open your eyes and your heart. Call the NSPCC now on 0800 80 20 20 and give £2 a month or whatever you can. Together, we can help stop cruelty to children. Full stop. Let us start now.
Are you having trouble getting a mortgage? At Guaranteed Home Loans, we can save your bacon. You may have CCJs, arrears, been bankrupt or be self-employed with no proof of income. But if you've got just 5% equity, we can help. If you're purchasing or remortgaging or want help to buy your council home, you may need extra money on your right to buy for home improvements. Or maybe you're looking for buy-to-let investment property or commercial finance. Or you're a first-time buyer who needs some friendly advice. Whatever you need, Guaranteed Home Loans will save your bacon. Call us free now on 0800 409 6664.
This is the evolution in television. It's now available with free Sky Plus subscription. Upgrade your Digibox to a Sky £9 plus 50 months standard installation and change the way you watch TV forever. Call now on 08702 40 40 22. Sky Plus. Create your own TV channel.
Grab your Nokia and mix your name with a mini logo. Just text the word mix and your name to the number 8181. So text mix and your name to 8181.
With total UK calls from one cell, you can have unlimited local and national calls to other landlines for just $13.99 a month. You can also get some of the lowest rates available for international calls. And their directory inquiry service is completely free until the end of next year. So go on better with one cell.
Register now on 0800 957 1111 and we'll also give you 1 month free.
For friendly advice about your mortgage requirements, call Guaranteed Home Loans on 0800 409 6664.
Please pledge just £2 a month to the NSPCC by calling 0800 80 20 20 now.
I live in the town of Sunrise. I've committed murder. You must stop me, or you could be next.
Take a murder mystery novel, open it, read the first paragraph. Now close your eyes, open your eyes, and you're there.
Who am I?
Remember, if you are alone, you are at risk from the killer.
Murder in Small Town X, Saturday at 10 PM on Challenge.
Welcome back. We're getting ready for the battle of the DJs here. Mick Brown against Pat Sharp in an aerial skiing contest. Joining me in my pulpit piece from Computer and Video Games magazine is Tim Boone.
Hello, Dominic.
Tim, welcome back. Any general tips you could give to our two DJ game players?
Sure. The tips I'd give the guys is to waggle the joystick like hell before you actually take off, to get as far up as you can into the atmosphere and do as many loops and backspins and flips as you can. Really impress those judges. Really go for it, basically.
Okay, speed, skill and smoothness then, guys. Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay, Mick, take your first jump. Mick's obviously going to try and get as much speed as he can.
Absolutely. He's going to wiggle that joystick like crazy to get so that when he hits the end of the slope, he's off into orbit.
Oh, and he's up high. It's a dappy and a double Mobius flip. He's going to straighten up. He's straightened up. What an opening jump from Mick Brown.
Very, very nice jump indeed.
Oh, low to high sixes. What a stunning opening jump. Average 31.9. And now, Mick, take your second jump. So he's going to try and build up as much speed as possible. He's going to carry down there. Off the left way. And it's up. Someone's gone wrong. Oh dear. And the crowd don't like that one. They scored remarkably highly, Tim. Why was that?
It was a very clean jump. It was very fluid, but it didn't do very much. The judges are looking for fluidity and confidence.
But they like a bit of smoothness.
Yeah, but for the really high points, they like the action.
Okay then, so Mick, take your third and final jump.
This is the big one.
So Mick's going to go all out in his hand, he's controlling that, he's got his up on it. And he's, one daffy, two daffies, stuck in a daffy, and landed.
Safe jump.
A safe jump, quite a low score, but it could be enough, and average of 13.0. So Mick's total is in fact a mammoth 54.5. Well, Tim, Pat's going to have his work cut out to match that. How would you advise him to take each of his jumps?
I think that he should put some points straight down by doing a straightforward jump on the first jump, and if that's successful, really go for it. I'm talking about a triple loop, possibly.
Okay, let's see if Pat takes your advice. Pat, when you're ready, take your first jump. And there goes Pat down the slope. He's getting as much speed as he can. He's up the top. He's done one that. He's done the flip. This could be a big one. Well, Pat averages 40.9 for his first jump. Tim just tried to be a bit too special, didn't he?
Absolutely. At the very last minute, it was just too ambitious. Should have left it as it was, gone for those big points, and he would have scored massive amount for that.
Okay, so Pat needs quite a big jump here now. Here he goes to his second jump. And he's going down the wrong way. He's approaching the limit. It's a nice, pretty nice one. One daffy, one flip, two flips. He's going to straighten up here now. Oh, and he's scored more than the judges there, 7.4. Now, by my calculation, he's got to score over 30 for his final jump. Tim, is it possible?
He can do it, but it's got to be something, he's got to go into orbit, basically.
Right, and he's got to land safely. That's where Pat's problems are,
Absolutely.
coming down to earth. Okay, Pat, your fans are cheering you on. Take your third and final jump. And Pat's falling down the wrong way. He's given it all this time. He's up in the air. He's done one backflip with a top one down. Here's his straight up. Oh, he's straight up this time. 3.9, 3.8, 3.1, 3.8. 80.3 average. I don't think that's enough, Tim.
It was a good jump, but it simply wasn't enough. He needed something very spectacular there.
Okay, and the final score for Pat was 40.6.
6. Just edged out by Mick, who is tonight's winner.
Well, first of all, congratulations, Mick. Incredibly smooth jump in there. How did you manage the frowns part so thoroughly?
Well, it was all down to training. I was out at Hampstead Heath the other night, and it all kind of worked well. It was a bit cold, and it was great. It just paid off training.
Okay, well now, Pat, you did some very fancy work, but you just seem to be trying to do a bit too much there.
Well, my jumping's a bit like my jumper, really, a bit too much, so that's why.
I can quite agree with that.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Well, I'm afraid, Pat, that you've missed out on our star prize, which goes to Mick. Now, Mick, it's even better than a car. I'm sure you've won many awards for DJing, but none as special as this.
Ship around the world?
Our special, huge, golden Gamesmaster joystick! Now, Mick, you can take that home, and I'm sure you could do a lot of damage with something like that.
I'm sure it could do a lot of damage to someone, yeah. So I shall gladly accept this on behalf of Capital FM, because I think, well, actually what we'll do, Pat, we'll put this in the Capital Foyer in London, so everyone can come up and have a gaggle at my joystick.
Okay, great. And a round of applause for Pat Sharp and Mick Brown. Now, Pat and Mick obviously have their problems. We can't help them. However, if you do have a problem on a computer game, send it into Gamesmaster and we'll see what he can do about it in the consultation zone.
Hello, Gamesmaster.
Welcome to my kingdom. I am delighted to see you. And what have you got to ask me?
I've been playing Zelda for months, but I can't find the Guardian on level 7. Can you tell me where it is, please?
Zelda does indeed require a modicum of common sense. To locate the particular Guardian you're after, go to the top right-hand corner room, kill hands, and then push the rock over to the right. A secret passage will appear, and if you go down it, you will find the Guardian.
Thanks a lot.
Next, please.
Hello, Gamesmaster.
Hello, and nice to see you. Now, what can I do for you?
I keep getting killed at the end of the Dust Planet in Forgotten Worlds. How can I destroy the Dust Dragon?
Foolish boy. It sounds to me as if you've been overlooking the fact that the dragon's only weak point is its heart. Shots aimed anywhere else are simply wasted. If you stray low to avoid the razor claws and keep firing at the heart, you should have no trouble disposing of the beast.
Oh, that's brilliant. Thanks very much.
I'm sure you'll be very glad to see the back of that one. Next, please.
I've been told there's a warp on level 1 of Snake, Rattle and Roll, but I haven't been able to find it. Can you tell me where it is, please?
Indeed I can, young man, though I do feel you should have moved on from this game a long time ago. Oh, well, no matter. From the start, keep going right as fast as possible, avoiding all obstacles. Eventually, you will see a rocket. If you jump up and catch the rocket, you can walk to level 8.
That's great. Thanks very much.
Well, you will find it works. And that little revelation brings the session to an end. I do hope the advice is going to give some use. Goodbye for now.
Now it's time for this week's final challenge. Let's go over to Gamesmaster to find out what it's about.
The last of this week's challenges is on a game called The Rat, in which you need to guide an innocent, nappy-clad babe through a perilous maze where all manner of dangers lurk. Your task is to get through stage 1 of level 5. Anticipation is the key. If you let the child cop it, or if you dawdle and get caught by the scrolling screen, the challenge is over. Good luck. The life of an innocent child is at the mercy of your mouse finger.
And here, attempting to guide his very own child through the perils of our final challenge tonight, please could you give a very warm Gamesmaster welcome to Michael Merrin. Welcome to Gamesmaster, Michael.
Must be.
Now, I think this is an incredibly tough game. Are you confident about it?
Just slightly, not very much though.
Right, have you been practicing a lot though?
For a few days.
Okay. If we'd like to go and have a little sit down in our pine hot seat there, and we'll get ready to start the game. Joining me again as co-commentator is the lovely Tom Watson from Renegade. Welcome back, Tom.
Evening, Dominic.
Tom, what should Michael's general tactics be on Brat?
Particularly on this level, what you have to watch out for is the screen scrolling down and knocking the character off.
Right, okay. Michael, are you ready? Get guiding that baby. Okay, what's the first obstacle he must overcome here then?
Well, the first thing for Mike to watch out for, Dominic, is the shark, which we can see in the bottom right. What he's doing at the moment is he's picking up as many of these items as he can find. He'll need to use a lot of them later on. As you can see, he's put a triangle down there, which will stop the screen from scrolling down. This gives him more time to plan, to put out the items which are going to stop things. He put some meat in the river, that's taken the shark out for a while.
Okay, now he's coming at a crossroads here. How can he go over these gaps here? Oh, he's building bridges.
Yeah, he's building the bridges. You can see at number 5 above the bridge icon in his control panel. That shows how many he knows.
A little prick and he's disappeared.
He has indeed. He's gone sailing upwards. Now he just has to watch out now for some getting around this. There's a slide coming up, and he's using his dynamite to blow up the bridge. He's got another shark to take out.
And is that a submarine he's about to pick up?
That's a submarine. He's going to need that a little bit later on. Yes.
Okay, so how is he doing now at the game?
He's doing pretty well. He's probably about halfway through at the moment. He's stopped on the edge. He's distracted the shark with some meat. Now he's giving the instruction to the character to go on further.
What's this thing you got here? Oh, that's gone as well. Now, how far is he through the game, Tom?
He's about halfway down there. I think he's doing extremely well.
He's got a bone there. Will that come in useful?
The bone will come in useful right at the end of the level. Now he's going to slide down this. He's put a stop token down. He's missed it, and there he goes.
Commiserations, Michael. Talk us through it. You were going very well, but then what went wrong?
Well, put a stop sign down in the wrong place where I wanted to stop, and the dog obviously came after me where I should have had a bone, so I kept going instead of stopping.
Right, well, you had the bone but didn't quite get a stop sign in place.
Yeah.
Well, have you enjoyed yourself anyway, Michael?
Yes, it's been great.